Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we're delving into The Science of Selling by David Hoffeld. Published in 2016, this book is an invaluable guide for anyone looking to understand the intricacies of the sales process through the lens of science. Hoffeld, the CEO and chief sales expert at the Hoffeld Group, brings his own expertise to the table, blending neuroscience with social psychology to craft a method for selling that's both innovative and grounded in evidence. The principles outlined in The Science of Selling offer salespeople and marketers a framework to craft more effective sales strategies by tapping into the ways potential customers think and behave. If you're eager for knowledge on how to elevate your sales game, keen to employ evidence-based sales tactics, or simply curious about the cognitive underpinnings of purchasing decisions, this book is your stepping stone to a deeper understanding of selling as a science. Join us as we explore Hoffeld's strategies that have made headlines in respected publications such as the Wall Street Journal, Fast Company, and U.S. News and World Report, and have been echoed in his lectures at prestigious institutions like Harvard Business School. Tune in and discover the science behind convincing pitches and successful sales outcomes. The Science of Selling: Proven Strategies to Make Your Pitch, Influence Decisions, and Close the Deal. Introduction: Unlocking the Secrets of Successful Selling with Science. Have you ever felt like selling is a mysterious alchemy, blending charm and chance into deals and profits? You're not alone. However, beneath the surface charisma of successful salespeople lies a foundation of science that turns this art on its head. This narrative dismisses outdated folklore and instead embraces a modern, evidence-based blueprint for influence and persuasion. By tapping into social psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral economics, we unlock actionable strategies that can transform your ability to sell. Prepare to explore the human psyche, understanding the why behind consumer choices, and uncover tactics that elevate your sales tactics from guesswork to precision. With a scientific touch, we'll reshape the very fabric of how you think about selling. Against this backdrop, you'll discover why less is often more when presenting options to buyers. The art of division and mutual benefit involving nothing more than a citrus fruit. And the surprising impact of timing on decision-making, including judicial outcomes. Are you ready to sharpen your sales skills with the cutting edge of scientific research? Let's embark on this enlightening journey through the science of selling and turn your next pitch into a triumph of tactics and timing. Part 1. Embrace the science to become a sales maestro. Picture the quintessential sales superstar, that person with the disarming smile and the compelling charm, wheeling and dealing effortlessly. It's tempting to think these maestros are born, not made, right? But let's reconsider that narrative. Groundbreaking studies, like the revealing research from the Harvard Business Review, make it clear that innate talent isn't the whole story. In fact, only about a third of sales professionals consistently hit their stride. Adding to that, ES research shines a light on an alarming truth. A staggering 90% of traditional sales training barely moves the needle toward success. So where does this leave businesses that rely heavily on their sales teams? Well, they need not rely on chance or charisma any longer. Science has made its entrance into the field of sales, promising a formula for those willing to look beyond anecdote and embrace an evidence-based methodology. The focal point: realizing the transformative power of understanding the science of sales. The brain is our most malleable asset, capable of incredible change. Through the phenomenon of neuroplasticity, even our most entrenched habits and skill sets are subject to evolution. The myth that you're either born with sales prowess or you aren't has been debunked. However, the challenge arises when one's focus is fixed on acquiring skills not rooted in solid science. Pervasive yet baseless beliefs, such as the notion that extroversion equals sales success, persist, despite evidence to the contrary from institutions like the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, which actually associates high extroversion with subpar sales outcomes. So, what's the solid ground? Enter the realm of peripheral routes of influence, unexpected yet effective strategies uncovered by research. Take, for instance, the asymmetric dominance effect, which proves that choice architecture can lead to higher sales. Positioning a good product alongside a great one nudicates customers towards the superior option by simply making it shine brighter. At its core, the scientifically backed approach lives by one rule: knowledge is power, especially in sales. By understanding the cognitive journey of your buyer, the ensuing pitch becomes a masterful alignment with their internal narrative. Curious about these scientific sales secrets in action? Stay tuned, as the journey into the heart of decision-making, sales, and deal closing continues. Part 2. Navigate the 6 whys to smooth the path to a sale. Imagine this. A person meanders through the aisles of a grocery store, eyes wandering until they land on a new brand of cereal. Interest piqued, they stop, consider, and then add it to their cart. But what really prompted that decision? It's a question that puzzles salespeople far and wide, sparking guesses about everything, from packaging appeal to the shopper's mood. While myriad factors might influence the decision, it's rarely ever just one. It's a layered process, a domino effect of choices, and, as a sales professional, facilitating this process is your mission. Let's delve into it. Smooth out the sales process by answering the 6 whys. Buyers mentally traverse a checklist of 6 critical questions, the 6 whys, before deciding to make a purchase. Your role? Ensure you're equipped with persuasive and solid answers to guide them seamlessly from deliberation to decision. The journey starts with why change. Since humans have an affinity for the status quo, any change has to be convincingly worthwhile. Articulate what's deficient about the buyer's current situation to answer this primary query. Then comes why now? Convey the timeliness of the purchase decision. Perhaps there's an exclusive offer that's fleeting, or maybe external circumstances make the purchase particularly pertinent at this juncture. Next, address why your industry. In essence, champion the whole sector before zeroing in on your slice of the market. If your product is an online course, for example, clarify why the format triumphs over traditional in-person training or self-help books. The spotlight subsequently shifts to why your company and why your product, the 4th and 5th stops along this path. Here you extol the unique virtues of your business and what makes your product stand out in the crowded bazaar of options. Finally, tackle why spend the money. Point out how the investment in your product pays off, highlighting both immediate cost efficiencies and potential long-term gains like loss prevention. By methodically answering each of the 6 whys, you effectively dismantle barriers and build ramps leading directly to the final decision. This isn't just a sale, it's a guided journey where at every turn, the customer finds another compelling reason to proceed. Part 3. Elevate the buyer's mood to elevate your sales. Envision yourself at the mercy of the legal system, guilty verdict in hand, awaiting the judge's ruling. You may be preparing to plead for leniency, but research suggests a curious alternative, offering the judge a soothing break, complete with food and rest. Yes, it seems a sandwich might outweigh a soliloquy when it comes to influencing the court's judgment. It's not simply a quirky notion. Studies reveal that tired or famished judges tend to issue more severe sentences, but offer them a reprieve, and their generosity spikes, with parole granted 65% of the time. What does this tell us? Our decisions are deeply intertwined with our emotional states, even for professionals lauded for their objectivity. And if a seasoned judge's rulings can be swayed by mood, imagine the potential impact on a customer pondering a purchase. Here's the takeaway. Boost your sales by lifting your buyer's mood. Despite our love of logic, reality is often steered by emotions. Neuroscience pinpoints positive emotions as conduits to openness and persuasion, while negativity does the opposite: constriction and resistance to influence. Tapping into this knowledge is pivotal for those who wish to excel in sales. Behavioral scientist Irving Janis shed light on this with an experiment. Sales skyrocketed when he introduced simple offerings such as peanuts and sodas into transactions, creating a buoyant environment conducive to sales. For a seasoned sales professional, it isn't just about handing out goodies. It's about creating an overall positive experience. Through a mashup of warm body language and vibrant vocal tones, one can utilize emotional cognition, the tendency for people to mirror the emotions they're exposed to. Thus, a genuine smile and an enthusiastic approach can be quite infectious. Small talk, too, can wield power. A conversational detour into pleasant topics can radically improve a buyer's mood. Inquire about recent vacations or activities they relish, harnessing the natural human inclination to reflect on good times. This can subtly shift the atmosphere in your favor, nudging a potential buyer from reluctance to readiness. In the realm of sales, it's clear that a touch of positivity goes a long way, not just for the buyer, but for the overall success of the transaction. The key to an effective sale might just be ensuring that every interaction ends on a cheerful note. Part 4. Ask better questions to create stronger sales connections. Imagine walking into a doctor's office and the physician immediately starts offering treatments before you've even had a chance to describe your symptoms. It's an absurd scenario. In the medical field, questions are as crucial as the instruments that line the walls. The thorough, methodical questioning by a doctor isn't just procedure, it's essential in reaching a diagnosis. Sales should take a leaf out of medicine's book. Before presenting solutions, delve into questions. Here's the foundation. Focus your sales pitch with powerful questions. Questions, simple as they may seem, can influence behavior significantly. The Journal of Applied Psychology illustrated this with a fascinating insight. A person's likelihood of voting could be bumped by 25% simply by asking if they intended to vote. This is because questions trigger what's known as instinctive elaboration, where the brain instinctively begins processing the subject at hand. Consider you ask a manager about her company's obstacles. This prompts her to mentally inventory her challenges, bringing them front and center to your discussion. To channel the power of questions effectively, though, it's not about unleashing a barrage of queries willy-nilly. Here, social penetration theory serves as your guide, indicating that information unfolds most clearly in stages. It's a layering quest, beginning broadly, then gradually sharpening the focus. Start by casting a wide net with general fact-finding questions like, how was your revenue last quarter? As you gather information, pivot toward more analytical questions. What factors do you believe contributed to the dip in revenue? Lastly, pinpoint your inquiry to directly address buying motivators. Would a solution that promises to enhance efficiency by 6% interest you? This method does double duty. It allows you to uncover the most pressing concerns for your customer and concurrently positions your product or service as the key that fits their lock of challenges. In essence, the right sequence of questions not merely directs the conversation towards a meaningful destination, but also builds rapport and demonstrates empathy, showing that you're not just there to sell, but to understand and solve. Part 5. Uncover and cater to the true needs of your buyers. Imagine two siblings embroiled in a tussle over a single orange. Both assume the other seeks the entirety of it, so they split it down the middle, a compromise born of necessity. Yet this apparent solution is shrouded in missed opportunity. One sister needed only the juice, the other, the zest for baking. Had they communicated their actual needs, both could have walked away more satisfied. This parable underscores the pivotal role of active listening, a skill that is just as vital in sales as in everyday life. The magic in sales often stems from a profound understanding of what the buyer truly seeks. Here's the crux. Make sales based on your buyer's actual needs. Top performing salespeople, as reported by the Harvard Business Review, possess a common trait: the ability to step into their customers' shoes and view the world through their lens. It's intuitive, isn't it? Grasp your client's needs genuinely, and you're better equipped to adjust your pitch specifically to their circumstances. Yet, this is a pitfall for many in sales who become so engrossed in spotlighting what they deem key that they overlook what resonates with their audience. This is encapsulated by the concept of inattentional blindness, where a seller might myopically emphasize cost efficiency, while the buyer is primarily concerned with performance. Avoiding this blind spot demands that you discern your customers' chief buying motivators, the crux of their purchasing process, often tied to problems they aspire to solve. Sharpen your insight by asking targeted questions that lead clients to articulate their challenges or propose common dilemmas to gauge their reaction. With the problem pinned down, proceed to ascertain other crucial criteria your prospects consider non-negotiable. These span the gamut from budget constraints to the need to please particular stakeholders. Armed with this nuanced comprehension of your client's needs and predilections, you can craft your pitch with laser-focused precision, addressing the unique elements that matter most to them. Part 6. Showcase your product's value to seal the deal. Visualize a scenario where two researchers present you with a photograph of an ordinary-looking person. Without context, would you know if this individual is a hero or villain? Surprisingly, your judgment might hinge on the narrative you're given. Behavioral scientists Myron Rothbart and Pamela Birrell conducted a compelling experiment to illustrate this concept. They showed participants an image of a nondescript man, but with two drastically different backstories. One group was told he was a decorated hero, the other that he was an infamous criminal. This simple change in narrative dramatically altered perception. The hero seemed benevolent, while the criminal appeared malevolent. This proves a critical point. Perception is shaped by presentation. Translated to the realm of sales, this underlines the importance of framing your product in the most convincing light. Here lies the essence. Make sales seem worth it by demonstrating the value of your product or service. Social exchange theory, widely recognized among scholars, posits that people instinctively look to maximize benefits and minimize costs in their social interactions. Essentially, we're all seeking the better end of the bargain. Armed with this knowledge, it's imperative for sales professionals to articulate the value of their offerings. The typical tactic may involve showcasing features, attack software packages, myriad checking tools, for example. Yet, surface-level presentation misses the mark. These features must be linked directly to the buyer's key motivators to resonate. Say your client's priority is cost saving. Highlight how your software's error detection can preempt costly mistakes and sidestep pricey audits. What was once a mere feature is now a lens into the future, promising a significant return on investment. But illustrating value doesn't end there. It can be bolstered by preemptive comparison, what's known as inoculation. After singing the praises of your product's exceptional benefits, deftly underscore the absence of these perks among the competition. It's like laying down an impervious shield around your buyer's mind, warding off any second thought towards inferior alternatives. In the dance of sales exchanges, it's not just about what your product is. It's about building a bridge between your product's capabilities and your buyer's ambitions. Once you've crafted and communicated that all-important sense of value, the deal is as good as done. Part 7. Spice up your pitch with science-backed sales techniques. There's a saying that variety adds zest to life, but when you're talking sales, the culinary metaphor might not hold up. Aiming for the right flavor in sales means finding that sweet spot between too much and too little. Let's look at an enlightening example from the culinary world, a jam tasting. Psychologists Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper once set up a taste test with a twist. They displayed either 6 or 24 varieties of jam at a gourmet market. In a revealing outcome, the limited choice of 6 led to a stunning 900% jump in purchases over the wider selection. This culinary caper reveals a cardinal rule. A brain besieged by choices often opts for none, while a more modest selection leads to decisive action. Ready to serve up your sales pitch? Here are the key ingredients. Perfect your sales presentation with scientifically proven strategies. The brain is akin to a curious contraption, governed by all sorts of psychological nuances. To elevate your sales game, dip into this trove of scientific understanding about decision making. Let's begin with the principle of anchoring, where the brain latches onto its first piece of information, yes, the anchor, and uses it to gauge everything that follows. For example, present a prospect with a staggeringly high price initially, and the reasonable price you offer afterward suddenly seems like an irresistible bargain. It's all about perspective. Now, blend in the power of storytelling, or the narrative paradigm. Our brains are wired to be enthralled by a good tale, with tension, characters, and a satisfying conclusion, over cold, hard data. Neurological studies suggest stories have backstage passes to our emotional responses, bypassing the tougher critics of cognition. So rather than just reciting a litany of product attributes, why not weave an engaging story? Start with characters your clients can identify with, outline their challenges, and cap it off with the triumphant role your product or service played in resolving their woes. It's this narrative spicing that makes your pitch memorably tangy. It's clear. Crafting your pitch to align with the brain's inner workings isn't just savvy, it's science. Apply these proven psychological techniques and watch your sales performance simmer to perfection. Final summary: selling doesn't rely on mystique or serendipity. It's a craft perfected through understanding and strategy. Groundbreaking insights from psychology and social science light the path to a more deliberate and effective method of pitching your wares. A shrewd seller recognizes the value of positive emotions in the sales dance, leveraging a buyer's mood to lay the groundwork for persuasion. Beyond tapping into emotions, it's about showcasing the intrinsic value of products or services, skillfully knitting together their features with the tangible benefits they offer to the buyer. In tandem with influencing buyers' feelings and illustrating value, asking incisive questions is pivotal. Questioning allows you to delve into the depths of what buyers truly seek, their pressing needs and underlying desires, knowledge that powers a precise and compelling sales pitch. Embracing these scientifically backed methods is akin to upgrading your selling toolkit, equipping you to elevate your skills and consistently hit your sales targets with finesse and predictability. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.